fatties. We have left the Czech Republic. We have arrived in Slovakia. We are in Bratislava, the capital of Slovakia. And we're about to go on a communist tour in a 1992 Volkswagen bus.
Formerly, I remember it was a toilet, and now it's a craft beer pub. So it's quite funny transition. And in general, this street to the right, it's more with locals. So if you try to mingle a little bit more with locals, to some cheap restaurants, this is a place to go. Actually communist, but it's not. It's the art from the Second World War, when we still had influence from Germany. Because during the Second World War, we had this fascist regime here, introduced by Hitler, and here and there you can see even art from this period. It's written in German there, you can't see very well because of the light now, but it's a fireman station, Rettach in German.
First prefabricated building in Czechoslovakia.
So what is a prefab? It's like pieces of Lego put together, so you can still see the panels put together, right? And this art shows us Russian influence in the art. It's called Socialist realism. So it's like realistic depictions of Slavic life, but this is not a dance, but you know what is this? It's the famous Russian dance called Kazachok.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can dance maybe after.
Okay.
So beer production in Czechoslovakia was a big export article, okay? Czechoslovakia was famous, especially Czech part, for Pilsner Urquell.
Yeah.
I guess you know this.
We went to the Urquell brewery. Yeah, it was good.
And Budweiser was originally Czech beer, but then it became American one. There was some, I think, some conflict, some lawsuits, yes. So these two brands were the largest in Czechoslovakia, Budweiser and Pilsner Urquell. The third largest was Stein, the Stein brewery that was standing right here. But I'm sure you have never ever heard of Stein beer.
No.
Because it was just a shitty beer for workers, only for domestic market, so it was not for export. Right. The only last building that is still standing from this brewery is this like a green. I have a picture here. Someone has stolen the whole roof. It was made of copper. They've stolen the whole roof that had also original logo there, and it happened only during just few weeks, night by night. And since this was 1990s, kind of anarchy, the police did not solve it. Who actually did it? But so this is not as old picture as you might think. It's like 1990s. And what is interesting, there was even slogan: the beer that does not pretend anything. Pivo, ktoré sa na nič nehrá. So it's funny that this was very honest marketing.
They know it's not
I think it wouldn't work very much today in capitalism, but it was the honest marketing. In Slovak language, we call market hall Tržnica. There is a logo. Tržnica, you'll see, but young people don't come here because it's nothing here. Just vegetables. Coming with my parents every Saturday morning for fresh vegetables. It was very lively, a lot of old grannies.
Ale nežným dotykom zotrel slzu z detských tvárí, partizánskym chodníkom priniesol k nám pieseň jary. A ten chorvík plačal sebe o vode a suchom lebe.
Typical communist era fast food. Barbecue means like delicacies, okay? Rybí means fish, salads. And we have a traditional communist salad that is made of cooked fish.
Месецу
upside down pyramid from 1970s. It's a Slovak radio building, and it was listed among the top 30 ugliest buildings in the world by the Daily Telegraph, by the British newspaper. They needed 16 years to finish the building because they had problems with construction. It was very innovative building from 1970s. Because on one hand it's true that the Red Army liberated our country from Nazis, but they forgot to leave for another 40 years. So.
Oh, funny.
Communist
People still
energy
eat them now.
bar.
Yeah, it should be fresh from 50s. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's still quite popular.
Nad Bratislavou, ktorej už niekoľko storočí dominuje hrad, vypína sa v posledných týždňoch nová silueta. Slavín s 36-metrovým pilónom. Tento prekrásny pomník osloboditeľom architektonicky navrhol inžinier-architekt Ján Svetlík.
Slava means glory, so like to pay homage, glorify Red Army. You can see Soviet soldier crushing on swastika under his feet, and he's holding Soviet flag with communist star. You are right. That
So this is the Soviet World War II Soviet Memorial, and these are mass graves. 7,000 Soviet soldiers here who died in World War II. Very interesting. And this is the statue of the Soviet soldier crushing, stomping on a swastika.
This was also a place where pioneers came to pay respect to loyalty to the party. Not a picture here, but this is full of pioneers. And delegations from Russia visited. On the picture that you don't miss so much, it's just a modernist, minimalistic grave of unknown soldier, and from above you have a mosaic of a communist star that was supposed to represent something like a temple, you know, something like spiritual. Across the UFO bridge. So this is there is observation deck on top, as I mentioned to you, for €9. There is a lift in the left leg, and on the top you have a restaurant. So this field was actually the second line of the barbed wire was a barbed wire along that was trees. Yes,
This is in between the two countries.
Actually, the steel was belonging to Czechoslovakia, but this was forbidden for civilians to come.
Right.
The Iron Curtain from 1986, student who was killed here when he was trying to escape to Austria in 1986. Grass is always greener on the other side, so you can see Austrians cut the grass much better. We keep the jungle here. And every 300 meters or so there was a military watchtower, and also there was a wire. If you stepped on it, there were automatic guns that would kill you. So the border was not very welcoming. However, if you managed to escape somehow, you were invited or accepted by Austria. You were given asylum.
And all the mines are gone?
You can try.
I don't need to.
And the guards were using these dogs. They were German Shepherds, but not only them. I have a picture here of a bit different dog that was a mixture between German Shepherd and something else. So there's a quiz for you. If you wanted to make something even stronger and faster than German Shepherd, what would... Yes, exactly.
Really?
Yeah, some people say beaver or bear, but I don't want to see a mixture. Well,
Because you built them to resist the Nazis.
yes, in 30s. Then they were not used actually by Czechoslovakian army. So we are coming to the end of our tour, so I think maybe it's time to celebrate. I brought you 2 small bottles. I guess you are not 18 plus, so it's only for adults at this moment.
Yeah.
Here we have a Czechoslovak communist the room. It's a working class edition. Workers drinking before the shift, and it's not allowed to call it the room, so it's just And this is a typical Borovička. It's a Czechoslovak version of gin.
Okay.
And so it's made of juniperus as well. I have very bad memories from teenager times too. So feel free to drink
you.
now or keep it as a souvenir.
I'll have a sip now.
Nice.
Yeah, you have a sip.
Yeah.
Why not? And usually we drink this with a Kofola, like Cuba Libre.
Oh,
Or
okay.
Czechoslovakia Libre.
Czechoslovakia.
Real worker, real Czechoslovak worker.
Oof.
And these are from
40% of alcohol. I think this is a bit nicer because it's sweeter. Borovička is quite rough.
And it's the same as back in the day. They make it the same.
Yeah.
You want to taste this one?
these are from communist times.
It's
Or-
still produced, but it's almost the same.
Yeah.
It's the same how it was.
They needed a strong drink before
This
work,
tastes like-
apparently.
Definitely, or to survive the grey days, you know, to cheer up a bit. So now we celebrate membership of EU. Freedom.
Now you
Not
can.
bad.
It's not bad.
Which one do you prefer?
I think this one's a little better.
That one tastes
It's
like
sweeter, yeah.
Like
yeah,
rum a
they
little
taste,
bit.
They taste kind of like rum.
It should be like
A
that.
little
It's-
bit.
Because we had a Cuban room as well, but it was more expensive, so this is like cheaper version of Cuban room.
Okay.
Here.
Okay.
Interesting. Thank you.
Enjoy.
Thank you. That'll be nice in our kofola.
Yeah.
The whole Petržalka was built on swamps. There was high underground water. You can still see the canal, the leftover from the Danube here. And, here you can see something like a green corridor, a lot of trees, big space. And this was supposed to be a central zone of Petržalka that was never finished. And even metro was supposed to be here, subway. But subway was also never finished because it was the end of communism. And this is interesting. You can see art from 1980s. This was to keep orientation easier. So we had this kind of mega, huge murals. There are 450 square meters, and artists could create them. So 2% of the budget was allocated for art in architecture and in urbanism.
To the one of the largest restaurants in Europe. Oh, the angels want us to eat here.
Or we can sit here. It doesn't matter to me.
This is good. This is good.
I can
go up?
go up.
Okay. Where's the national booth? This, right?
That side.
Okay, this is halushki.
Is that what it's called?
It's like the mac and cheese. Slovakia. This is dumplings. Dumplings.
They're pierogies
And then this is sauerkraut. Right?
with dumplings in it.
Dumplings. I mean, Carson had the traditional beef. How is it?
Very good.
Very good? You have to share some of that.
No, I have to eat it all so I can say I'm better than you.
There's no way you can eat all that. I dare you.
You want to bet? I'll bet money on it.
I didn't get $5 or €5 if we can finish it. Like that. So is everything good?
Mine's good.
I agree. This was good. You taste this?
Yeah.
Sauerkraut with like dumplings. Full day in Bratislava, and we're hiking up to a former Soviet missile base, right?
Devinska Kobyla,
What she said.
former anti-aircraft communist Soviet missile base.
That's a lot going on. So, it should be a very explosive afternoon. The Communist Blair Witch Project adventure.
Welcome to the area of the former military base of the State Air Defense.
Czechoslovakian.
Between 1983 and 1987, the area was home to the 6th section of the 186th Anti-Aircraft Missile Brigade of the Czechoslovakia People's Army, using the Soviet-made S-125 Neva anti-aircraft missile system. Since their departure over the last 20 years, the area has been overgrown with vegetation. This is a shelter for equipment. You gotta use your flashlight.
Is that an elevator shaft?
No. It's a bunker. It says you can
Oh my
actually go
God.
down into bunkers in these
I think
buildings.
Pennywise the Clown lives in here. Jeez. It's not me going in there.
Don't worry, I'm making sure these things are safe.
Escape to freedom!
There's a bear trap in here.
No, there's not.
No, it's already closed, but
A bear trap?
yeah, like one of those things that like clamps you when you step in it.
That's terrible. Hi guys.
Hey, Daddy!
I'm on the tower. Okay, I'm up here on the top of the observation tower. You can see everything. Got. There's the Danube River behind me there. There's the city, Bratislava. The Danube's beautiful though.
It's spying on us. They're like creep on that tower.